actually it's pretty much afternoon now. It's really cloudy out, but we've got our coffee. I also took out this. If you guys can't tell, we're gonna go to the beach. We're gonna attempt to go to the beach. It is spring break for a lot of people. As I'm filming this, I believe it's like March 3rd, March 4th, March something, which I looked up is spring break for a lot of colleges. So here's my thought process. It's a rainy, gloomy morning. However, I think the sun is supposed to break out in a little while. I checked the UV index. It's like a 5, which isn't super strong, but it's still gonna allow to get a little bit of sun. Also, it'll just be nice to get outside. But I'm assuming that since the weather is not the greatest, maybe we'll have a shot at a not super busy beach. I ended up going to the beach last week and it wasn't even spring break, but it was so busy. So we're gonna do a little Florida vlog. We're gonna do a really true Florida spring break, but trying to avoid spring break vibe. I don't know what this is gonna be, but I'm gonna show you what I pack in the bag. First, let's do a little taste test. Super good. I always tell you, try the Chobani sweet cream creamer. It's delicious. It's not too sweet. It's just the right amount of sweet. I really love it. So let's pack this bag. This bag I got at Target. It was like 20 bucks. It was such a deal. So let's go ahead and pack this up. I was gonna bring my beach chairs. However, I don't think I can grab them. They're in the garage. I don't have the garage thing to unlock it. So I'm gonna just grab a towel, which might suck if the sand is wet. I'm really hoping that the sun is gonna peek through because I think that's what the weather said was like noon the sun was gonna start peeking out. So I'm hoping that's enough to save me from sitting on wet sand. But honestly, like, I don't care. I just wanna get outside, get some sunlight, or get some outside air, I don't know. So we've got our towel. I do have waters in the car that I put in yesterday. So I'm gonna grab one of the waters. We've got this, and then I am going to bring lunch, which I'm kind of excited. I've never tried this before, but I feel like it wouldn't be a true Florida beach day with you if we didn't get something from Publix. And Publix is kind of known for the pub subs, and normally that's what I get, but I wanted to try something new. So first off, I think we're gonna bring some of the Publix tea. I like to do a half and half, half sweet, half unsweet, so we'll bring that. But then this is what I grabbed for my beach day lunch. This is the bacon chicken Caesar wrap. I thought this looked so good. I'm not a huge fan of bacon, but I feel like I could definitely just take the bacon off, but this looked really good. So we're gonna bring this in probably just my bag. Maybe we'll bring like a little ice pack, but honestly it's not too hot. Then we'll add a little bit of sweet tea and probably some like little easy to grab snack. I'm not sure how long we're gonna end up being there, so I'm gonna grab just a couple of like random snacks just so that way if I am hungry, I've got something. Gonna grab the AirPods. I don't really like to listen to a lot of stuff when it's just me going for safety reasons, but I am gonna bring these and maybe just listen to a podcast like super low. But sometimes I'll just lay on the beach without listening to anything. Just, I don't know, for safety reasons, I wanna be fully alert. The UV index is not crazy strong, however, I am going to still bring sunscreen just because I haven't had much time out in the sun this year, tanning wise, so I am gonna bring sunscreen to put on a thin layer of. Might be unpopular opinion, but I don't lay out in the sun normally long enough to burn. Normally I'm out there for like 20 minutes, so I sometimes won't apply sunscreen. If I know I'm gonna be out there for a little bit longer, or it's like the beginning of the summer and I haven't had enough time to build up anything, I will use sunscreen. But I don't know, sometimes I just like that direct sun. Might be an unpopular skincare, I wouldn't even call it skincare, but that's just what I do. Now the temperature is warm, so I can wear a bathing suit. I'm just debating what I want to wear over the bathing suit because it might be wet, so I'm kind of like, do I go the like sweatshirty kind of route? It's not hot. I think it's like 75 right now. It's not hot, but it could be like a little bit on the chillier side. Let's see what we can put together. This is the outfit. Got my little two-piece. This is such an old bathing suit, so like I don't even know if it's still available. And then I just draped over a little crew neck, and then we've got my little sunglasses if the sun happens to come out. But this is kind of the look, and then if I get chilly, I can just throw my little crew neck on. Bag is packed. Now let's make a unsweet sweet tea. In all of my drinks, I have to put a ton of ice. I can't have like a warm drink. It's gotta be filled with a ton of ice. This is the lineup that we've got. If you live near Publix, you're gonna know the hype. I love their sweet tea, but their sweet tea is sometimes a little bit too like syrupy tasting. So I like to do half sweet, half unsweet tea. It's just like that perfect sweet but refreshing combo. I mean, you can do this with any sweet tea and unsweet tea. I like to do this at Chick-fil-A too. Like when I get their teas, I'll either get a half unsweet with lemonade or a half sweet tea, half unsweet. This might be a hot take from somebody who lives in the South. However, I think if I had to choose sweet tea or unsweet tea, I would choose unsweet tea. I think it's a little bit more refreshing. I can't chug sweet tea. It just like, it hurts my teeth. So if I had to choose, I'd probably choose unsweet tea, which might be a little bit of a unpopular opinion, especially for those of y'all in the South, but I don't know. I like sweet drinks, but sweet tea is too much. That's a good one. Then we'll pack our little wrap. I have like this fear of seagulls, and I know it's ridiculous, but the last time I was at the beach, this woman next to me was sitting in her chair and she's eating popcorn, and she literally went to go put a piece of popcorn into her mouth, and a seagull came up and bit her trying to grab the popcorn out, and then a whole swarm of seagulls came over. Her husband was playing with her kids in the sand, had like a little plastic rake or something for the sand, and just started beating all these seagulls and trying to get them away. And I don't know, I just have a fear of like eating on the beach and just seagulls in general. I don't love them. So I feel like we might just end up having a little car lunch or something like that. But let's bring our stuff. Noah is working down south and he said it's gorgeous there. So I'm hoping that the cloud breakage will migrate up to us so we can have a partly sunny day at the beach. But grab your beach bag, grab your sunnies, let's go. All right, we're here, but I am actually pretty hungry. I decided like halfway here, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna avoid the seagulls. And I made the executive decision. We are going to eat lunch in here. And if you remember, for lunch, we have the Publix bacon chicken Caesar wrap. It sounds delicious and I'm like so hungry. The sky, as you can tell, completely cleared up and it is the most gorgeous afternoon. It is warm, perfect. Okay, let me give you guys a bite first. This is what it looks like. Absolutely delicious. It's got like lettuce, onion, tomato, chicken from Publix. Delicious. This is really, really good. Yeah, wow. It's like super saucy. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Oh, I'm dropping some. But it's super saucy and it's got the right amount of crunch and the right amount of flavor. All right, I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna meet you on the beach, okay? But we're at the beach. It's really, really nice. As you can see, like the sun came out. It's honestly like not too busy here either. I thought it was gonna be busy because of spring break, but it kind of feels like everyone had the same idea as me that it was gonna be just like crappy weather. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my sunscreen just before I forget. I also don't think I told you, but I do like to put my, oh, you know what? Let me put my hair up first. Like I was saying though, I like to put my like essentials. So I put like my card, my keys, my Aura ring, and my engagement ring. I like to put those all in a fanny pack. Just because by the time I get to the beach and everything like that, I forget sometimes to take it off. But I don't want to lose it, obviously, at the beach. One of the cons of going to the beach by yourself is you do not have anybody to apply sunscreen. I'm gonna like tan my front first and then flip, but I feel like that's maybe a little iffy for online to show. So I'm gonna just tell you that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't want my camera to overheat, but I wanted to remember to tell you what beach this is. I was gonna go to Clearwater Beach, but I just decided if it was going to be busy, Clearwater Beach is gonna be the busier of all of the beaches that I was deciding between. So I decided to go with this one This is one of my favorite spots, and I'm kind of sharing a secret with you because it's one of those that isn't super popular, but is a really good beach. It is Honeymoon Island, and it's near Dunedin, Florida, which is like a little bit north of Clearwater. Now I like this one because it's a little bit more quiet. Clearwater Beach is, I would say, a nicer beach if you're going for more of the white sand. Like, as you can probably tell from the background, Honeymoon Island, which is where we are right now, is pretty rocky. However, you kind of gotta weigh the pros and the cons. So one of the huge pros of Honeymoon Island is it's not very busy, so you're able to kind of spread out more and not be so crowded. The con is it's a little bit more rocky. However, there are better seashells here, so if you're looking for some good seashells on your trip or at the beach, I would go with Honeymoon Island. They also have some really nice trails and stuff. We're not gonna do those today. We're just here to rot on the beach essentially. But there are some really nice trails, as well as like you can rent bikes, and there are little restaurants over here. But obviously Clearwater Beach has like the nicer hotels and the more restaurant kind of deal and entertainment life. But I really like Honeymoon. It's just very, as you can tell, it's very quiet. I wish I could like show around me, but I feel like that's a little weird to be showing people when they're at the beach. But there's not really anybody around me. There's like a couple people over there, a couple people over there, but it's pretty quiet unless you get sat next to like a little kid, which I will move in that case. It's a very quiet beach, but it's so nice. The waves are so quiet. They're like just the perfect amount. And the seagulls were a little crazy there for a little while, but it's very relaxing. Anyway, I'm gonna resume my laying down and doing nothing. Okay, this is one of those cases where I forgot to take off my makeup. I don't know why you didn't tell me, but I forgot to take off my makeup. And I pack makeup wipes in my car restocks, right? And I always get comments that are like, who needs makeup wipes? This is one of those situations where I'm gonna get back in the car and I'm gonna grab one of my makeup wipes and I'm gonna take my makeup off because I was so dumb. I filmed this morning. So I've got like my eyeliner on, my mascara, the whole deal. And I'm like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just take it off? Because now I'm sweating. And yeah, so pack the makeup wipes in the car. You never know when you're gonna need them. I've been sitting here for like an hour or so. The sun at the beach is so intense. I'm like feeling like I should probably go soon. However, I wanted to tell you because I was thinking about it and I was like, do you do the same thing? But I am so excited. I just got a little bit of sun. I feel really good. One of the things that I hated when I was living up north, if you don't know, I used to live up north. I used to live in Maine, which is basically Canada. But I struggled really badly with seasonal depression, and it sounds like oversaid, and people talk about it all the time of like, oh, moving somewhere where it's nice out the majority of the year, like change the way that they feel, and it really is true. I can't recommend enough if you're able to take like a mini trip or go somewhere, drive somewhere where it's a little bit nicer. It really does help to like pick up your spirits and pick up mood, especially as we get into like February, March, April, those like last minute snowstorms. Around Christmas time, the sun is, or what am I trying to say? The snow is really nice, but then it does get to a point where you're just sick and tired of it. You're ready for some nice weather, and just going somewhere, whether that's to a park, driving an hour or two, if there's like a warmer place you can go to or a nicer place, it really does just help to pick up the spirits. Another thing I like to do, as it gets to, for us it was cold. It was cold here in Florida for the past like 2 months. It was like 50s, 40s every single day, which obviously for Florida that's really cold. But it was like that for a couple of months, and that was enough to kind of bring my spirits down. I wouldn't really go outside because you'd have to bring a jacket or a sweater, and it just didn't feel right. The cold in Florida is almost worse than it is up north because it's like you feel like it should be nice down here, and it's just frustrating. However, if you can't go anywhere and you can't do anything, a huge tip I have is self-tan. So just like put some self-tanner on you, leave it on for an hour or two. I like the Loving Tan 2-Hour Express. I get the ultra dark. I want to try the new platinum 2-Hour Express, but just doing like some sort of self-tanner just helps. You feel like you've got a little bit of a sun-kissed look to you and a sun-kissed glow. So that's one of my like little tips, is creating like a self-care routine, but pretending like you got sun also kind of works. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I used to do tanning beds when I was younger. Not frequently. I would do them like maybe 2 times a month, 3 times a month in high school. And I don't know if there's science behind this. Obviously, I'm not a professional. What do I know? However, I did notice that it did help a lot with like my mood and making it almost feel like it was warm in summertime. So take my advice or don't. I don't know if it's good advice or bad advice, but obviously going tanning in a tanning bed every day, probably not the greatest thing for your skin. But if you go twice a month, it does do a little something, and then put some self tanner on after just to kind of emphasize the glow. And I really do think it does something to your mind and tricking you into thinking that you're somewhere nice, you know? And feel free, you know what, we're like hanging out at the beach together. Grab an iced tea yourself, DoorDash an iced tea, and we can just hang out at the beach, okay? Turn your heat up, grab some blankets, pretend they're towels. It sounds dumb, but if you can be like super cliche and kind of annoying and extra, it does make the experience a little bit better. So I won't judge. Grab your blankets. We'll just hang out at the beach together, crank up the heat, because it's really hot here. We get back into the car. I gotta make sure everything has all of the sand off of it. My phone was like overheating on the beach, but I like to keep beach towels in my car when it gets closer to like summertime. I like to just keep towels in my car just as like quick grab. So I'm actually not gonna bring that towel inside and wash it. I think everything else is coming in with me, so I'm gonna just leave those car. Bring my AirPods in, my phone, my beach bag, and the tea. I'm pretty sure I got the sand off everything, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if you could hear me on the beach when I said this, but I always take my Aura ring off as well as my wedding band, especially when I'm at the beach. My other rings, I don't really care too much, but I do bring my Lululemon bag, and I just put like a card and maybe some cash, but normally I don't have cash on me. Oh my gosh, in between the seat. Oh, let's hope we can get this. I was able to grab it. I was almost like nervous. I'm like, of course I would drop something in between the seat when I'm at the beach, but I promise I'm wearing a top. I keep looking topless. Maybe I should make a little reminder that whenever I wear a bathing suit and I'm vlogging and hanging out with you, I should probably wear something with straps so I don't look naked in every clip. But I did take some pictures at the beach that I'm hoping turned out good, so that way I can post them. And whenever I take photos on the beach, I can never see them, so I have to just like wait until I get back in my car to look to see how they turned out. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I just can't see on the beach, so it's always like a risk of, did they turn out good or are they awful and you're gonna see some bad pictures. So we'll see. Surprise. If they turned out good, they turned out good. If they turned out bad, please don't judge me. All right, not the worst, not the best, but they're not the worst. Look at the colors in here though. The ocean looks so pretty. Oh, look at this picture. Look how cool that is. The seagull and then the little, what is that called? Jet ski in the back. I thought that was a really cool beachy photo. I'm trying to think. You see how many effort, like how many takes it takes to get a couple of good ones? Like I took these ones today in front of the mirror, but like no joke, it takes this many tries to get one good photo, but it is what it is. I'm trying to stay away from the sun so you guys aren't just like seeing a glowy sun Emily I guess, but it's perfect timing because my manager and I have a meeting in a couple of minutes. Not really a couple of minutes, but I'm gonna get home, take a shower, maybe put on a layer of self tan, get this makeup off. That's what I meant to grab when I was back there, was a makeup wipe, but I'll just wait till I get home. So I guess if you ever comment that having makeup wipes in the car is a waste, maybe you guys just won, because I'm actually gonna wait until I get home
home to take my makeup off and then take a shower. And I wasn't joking. I'm gonna put on a layer of self tan. Try it. If you go out in the sun, don't completely roast yourself, but when you get home, put on a layer of self tan, and you can like kind of let it fully develop. I'm going to, but like the 2 hour is the way to go. I can't sit with self tanner on me for 8 hours. I know that a lot of the self tanners are the 8 hours. I can't sleep in self tanner. It's like a sensory thing. I feel sticky, I feel gross. It's kind of like how I feel right now with like sunscreen and sand. I hate that feeling. I love the beach, I love tanning, I love laying out, but I absolutely despise the feeling of sand and sunscreen and like that kind of feeling. And it's the same exact way with self tanner, so that's why I like the 2 hour. I'm able to put it on, watch a movie, watch a couple of YouTube videos, and then by the time it's like ready to wipe it off, I'm beyond ready. Like I can't do 8 hour. I think I've slept in self tanner once and I wanted to rip the sheets off of me. I could not sleep. It was probably the worst night's sleep I've ever had just because of the 8 hour. Today ended up being such a pretty day. There's literally like a few clouds in the sky, but that is it. And not to mention, but this is my view from my parking spot. So like I grabbed the best parking spot. Look at that. It's like the most perfect spot ever. You've got the no access, no dogs sign. You can see, where is he? There he is. You see the seagull flying across. What a gorgeous view though. This actually ended up being a really, really pretty day, and almost, it was the perfect day for the beach. Wasn't too hot, but it was the right amount of sun, and I feel like I did get a little bit of color, a little bit of sun. We are home. Why is this doing this where it's so dark? I don't know why my camera is doing that, but we're home. First thing I like to do is clean out the beach bag. It's the same thing like when I travel, I like to unpack. So I'm gonna throw my sweatshirt in a washer. I'm going to wipe down, let's see, what do I need to wipe down? My sunglasses, my keys, my cell phone, and my AirPods. I like to just give everything a good wipe down with like a Clorox bleach. Wipe? Don't get in some Clorox bleach with a wipe and just put everything. I'm gonna actually keep my sunscreen just in here because I like to have that. Put my little fanny pack back. Let's put this all away.